Okay. So, Dr. Sarvani Mitra did her graduation with mathematics honors from Calcutta University. She pursued MBA from Calcutta University with a specialization in marketing management. She has received her PhD degree in business administration from the Department of Business Administration under Faculty of Engineering, Technology and Management, University of Kalani. Currently, she is working as a professor at Indian Institute of Social Welfare and Business Management, the first management institute of the country, and head Department of Executive Management, Department of Fire Safety Management, and Department of Supply Chain and Logistic Management, and faculty member of the Department of Environmental Management. Dr. Mitra also Joint Secretary of AEE IISWBM Kolkata chapter and Council of Women in Energy and Environment Leadership Liaison Officer. Dr. Mitra is actively engaged in teaching on various dimensions of environmental, social, as well as marketing studies. She has more than 20 years experience of research and teaching experience in the field of environment. In her career, she has organized more than 35 MDPS for industrial engineers, employees of various public and private organizations like SAIL, etc. She has published more than 45 research papers in various national and international journals, more than 95 proceedings in international and national conference seminar, and a textbook of environmental management and business strategies, and one handbook on industrial ecology, waste management. She has been empaneled as PhD guide in public systems, social welfare, then management under University of Calcutta at IISWBM. Dr. Mitra received Jitendranath Bhaduri Memorial Medal as Best Student for Environmental Management for the session 1996-1998. She is also a member of editorial board of 2 international journals and 2 national journals. So she has been selected as research paper reviewer of different international journals. She is also a life member of Indian Water Works Association. She served her duty as an advisor in interview board for the purpose of selection of candidate for recruitment to the post of social worker grade 3 in the directorates of ESI scheme under Labor Department of Public Service Commission. She is also engaged in different types of issue, like say she is also a member of technical evaluation committee, ... So many, I may say so many. Okay, so now the time for our session. So before starting her session, I'm requesting all of my participants. They are basically from engineering college as well as polytechnic as well as technical university. So I'm requesting all of my respected professor participants, please check your audio. So best mode should be, your audio should be in mute mode, and it is very much helping or help us for conducting this type of online program. All of you know. Okay. And one announcement again, I have to say something. Today in the last session means we have to start from 2:30. 2:30, all of you know, online test is there. So my request to all of my participants, please be ready. I shall send you the link for online test, that is MCQ test, in your registered email. As well as if you want to enter the online meeting, then you can check, you have to check your chat box. So I shall share also in the chat box. So today it is not compulsory to enter the class, means online class or online meeting at 2:30. Simply you can check your email, registered email, and you may receive, no, you should receive the link, that is test link. Okay. So I already waste 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. So all minutes are now very much valuable. So, madam, we have to continue up to, you know, this time. Okay, your time just now start. So we have to continue up to 1:30.
Okay.
Isn't it, madam?
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
so thank you very much. So once again, I'm requesting all of my respected professor. So please check your audio. It should be in mute mode. Okay. So now over to Professor Dr. Sharbani Mitro.
My screen is visible.
It is share screen.
Share screen code is
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
presentation mode. Presentation mode.
Yeah.
Data height. Minimize.
Okay. So thank you, Sir Professor Mondal. It's definitely on behalf of Indian Institute of Social Welfare and Business Management. I am really getting honored to be with you in this prestigious program. This West technology, this particular topic is very much timely needed topic, and credit should go to Professor Mondal that you have taken initiative and you are organizing such an excellent program involving Ministry of Education, Government of India, and also AICTE and Atal Foundation to organize such kind of the program. So definitely under your leadership, this kind of the program will be getting a proper shape and will be able to meet the objective of today's program. Now, the topic of this discussion, of this session, is wealth from West. Now, let me start with a common statement of our, all of us know the person, the renowned person, Einstein. He has said that if a century ago, he has mentioned that if the bee disappeared off the surface of the globe, then man would only have 4 years of left. No more bees, no more pollination, no more plants, no more animals, and eventually no more man. So actually he indicated our nature's self-built regulating mechanism. In management language, we term it as cybernetic mechanism. That means if there is any change in any component of our natural ecosystem, that change will be counterbalanced by some other changes in any other area or any other system. So nature has its own self-regulating mechanism. So this is the natural way. In this way, we are going to survive in the long run. But what is going on currently, what we are finding right now, due to the unplanned urbanization, due to the overexploitation of natural resources, people are extracting the natural resources in its own way. So the inevitable result is degradation. Inevitable result is environmental instability. So that's why now nature is going to lose its self-regulating mechanism. So that's why this is the perfect time, right time, where we have to take immediate action. Our objective of Professor Mondal also, to disseminate this knowledge among the society, among the young vibrants who will be taking charge of disseminating the proper knowledge regarding the proper treatment of waste. We should know that we should not treat waste, as trace metal, as abundant things. We have to optimally utilize the waste material that are going to be generated from any particular facilities or establishment, and we have to think of how to optimally utilize those materials. Then only we will be able to survive in the long run. And as sustainable development shows, the objective of sustainable development, that it should meet the need of the present without sacrificing the ability of the future generation in order to meet their own needs. If we want to keep something for our child, for our children, definitely this is the right time. We have to think of how to optimally utilize the waste, how to derive wealth from waste. Once upon a time, a century ago, we thought, okay, we are going to throw off the waste material, the packaging material. We are not going to bother of that. But time has come when we have to think it differently to meet the need of the present without sacrificing the ability of the future generation. We have to think how to derive wealth from waste. Another definition that we are finding, that sustainable development is also can be defined as the use of renewable and non-renewable sources in a manner that sacrifices our current needs but does not compromise the future availability of resources. This is also coming under sustainable development. Already we know that renewable resource means, that biomass energy, hydropower, geothermal, wind energy, solar energy. Non-renewable resources are various fossil fuel, oil, natural gas, coal, and nuclear energy also includes under non-renewable sources. So we have to use all kind of the sources in a manner that satisfies our current needs, but does not compromise the future availability of the resources. We have to be against the ecological stability. We always should be in favor of the nature so that nature can regain its self-regulating mechanism. Now, before directly going to our topic, let us first discuss or share the result where we want to reach, because we already know where we are. We are going to throw away our waste material. We are going to overlook the outcome that is going to be generated from various factories, various establishments, various sectors. This is our current scenario. But why? But the time has come to be aware of where we should reach at this current time. So that's why we are going to share that in which way we can derive some kind of profit from the material for which we are not going to bother. Just see, if we think or if we consider a typical community with 1 lakh population, now per day average waste produce 50 tons with 70% wet waste. 70% wet waste means 35 tons are wet waste. Now see, in the subsequent slide, we will go to discuss that what are the various technologies or what are the various process by which we have to think of deriving wealth or deriving energy from the waste. But this is a particular slide from which, in a nutshell, we will be able to know where we should reach, but whether time has already come to think of in this direction. So this particular slide will give you a roadmap for our future step. So just see, if all the wet waste, this 35 tons wet waste is composted, composting is one kind of technology by which we have to think of deriving wealth from waste. So if this 35 tons wet waste is composted directly or after producing methane gas, it reduces 1/5 of its weight. That means it produces 1/5 of 35, that means 7 tons of compost per day. That means per month, if you multiply it by 30, 210 tons per month it will produce. Now the compost is sold per kg ₹3. That means monthly you will be able to yield 6,30,000 INR. So see, this is the wealth. In this way, we have to derive the wealth from waste. That means if we ignore that 50 tons generation of waste per day, that means we are also going to lose 6,30,000 monthly yield. So in this way, we have to think. Additionally, about 3 tons of dry waste, because 3 tons of dry waste can be sold, or it can also be converted into useful product every day. So if you combine these two things, then urban local body can earn easily monthly 7,50,000, and annually it will be 90 lakhs. So 90 lakhs amount we are going to enjoy if we do not forget the utilization of the waste optimally. On the other hand, if you see, if that waste remains untreated condition, then mixed solid waste management requires the municipality. What we have to do? We have to spend per ton 700 amount of money for its disposal, which is a minimum expenditure is 1,26 lakhs amount annually without any return on investment, except your pollution, global warming, ill health of persons, animals, etc. So this is the outcome if we ignore those wastes. So now it is your choice which one you will go to select. Whether you will be able, you are running after earning annually 90 lakhs amount, or you will be losing 1,26 lakh amount annually without any return, and causing the adverse impact on environment. On environment means on total environment, on human being, on animals, on non-living structure, on plants, etc., and causing the pollution. Now, this is the time you have to think on it. Now, one by one. First, we have talked about sustainable development. Now, let me first discuss, before again going directly to the topic, in which way we can think of sustainability. For this 7 days discussion, already you have come across a lot of topics. You have come across how to define waste, in which what is the composition of waste, what are the various treatment technologies of waste. Okay, now let us first discuss in which way we can define the word sustainability. Sustainability is the superimposition of three issues. Whenever we are talking about sustainability issues, we have to think of three sub-parameters: environmental part, environmental sub-issues, social and economic. Now, if you superimpose, now sometimes the environmental circle will be getting mingled with social, it causing socio-environmental. You see, socio-environmental. That means, see, due to plantation, you have to, in this particular point, when social part and environmental part is getting mixed. So in this particular part, here, you have to derive, due to plantation, how people are getting benefited, how community is getting benefited. When environmental part and economic part is getting mixed, in that environmental economic aspect, we have to find out, due to environmental issues, how company, how organization, how our country is going to gaining the competitive advantage. And when economic and social is getting mixed, in this particular section, we are going to think of economic social part. That means in which way economic upliftment causes the social development. Now, if we focus this particular section where environment, social and economic, these three issues have been mixed, intermingled. That means actually this, we have to think all these three issues. These are not the separate entity. If you focus only environment, it will not give you the satisfactory result. Only social, no. Only economic, no. You have to think of triple bottom line approach. So that's why we are coming to discuss now circular economy, because from that particular concept of TBL, triple bottom line, we are coming to discuss this particular thing, that is the circular economy. The concept of circular economy has been first raised by British environmental economist Pierce and Turner in 1990. Traditionally, open-ended economy was developed with no built-in tendency to recycle, which was reflected by treating the environment as waste reservoir. Whatever waste is getting generated, throw it away. We should not bother about that. But what is the aim of circular? Why this circular economy is coming ahead in this current generation, in this current scenario? Because again, the concept of Deming's will has come, PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act. It is not an open-ended thing. It is the circular one. It is the continual approach. We have to reduce the resource so that the system functions in an optimal way. We are talking about now establishment of special economic zone. That is the implementation of the approach of circular economy. Because you know that thermal power plant is going to generate a lot of ashes. Should we ignore that ash? No, because if we ignore, then definitely that company has to bear its transportation cost, disposal cost, etc., etc. But if we think of the concept related to special economic zone, that means if any Portland Pozzolana cement manufacturing industry can be established very much nearby of the thermal power plant, then for that industry, the raw material will be that ash. So for the purpose of um, collection of the raw material from thermal power plant to that Portland Pozzolana cement industry will not have any long issue, will not so definitely the transportation cost will be getting reduced, sometimes will be zero, and then disposal cost for thermal power plant will be getting zero. So in this way total country will be going to incur lot of benefit. So this is nothing but the circular economy. So this circular economy concept we are going to follow in this particular approach. The name of that approach is cradle to grave management. That means actually cradle to grave management is product life cycle, throughout the life cycle of the product, from the incorporation of the raw material up to getting the finished product. There is the possibility of the generation of the waste at each and every corner. So at the each and every corner, we have to think of reusing, recycling, recovering of that waste, so that the waste either can be utilized for the same unit as the raw material or as intermediary material, or if it is not possible, then it can be utilized for other unit, for other factory, for other enterprise. What is found, just I have explained in case of thermal power plant versus Portland Pozzolana cement manufacturing unit, ashes are getting taken as raw material for Portland Pozzolana cement manufacturing unit. So in this way, the transportation cost of raw material or the disposal cost of the waste will be going to be zero. So in this way, the company will be going to incur benefit. So this is the strategy, that this strategy aims at taking into account sustainability impact, that environmental, economic, and social issues that a product or service will have throughout its life cycle, from cradle to grave. From cradle to grave, throughout its life cycle of the product, we have to think of optimal utilization of the resource. And you know that as you will be optimally utilize the raw material, the generation of waste will also be optimal. Now, let us discuss this particular fact. If we always talk about the theoretical, from theoretical perspective, it will be going to be boring. So let us discuss some case study to show the sustainability. Suppose we are going to take example of steel industry. You know, the Ministry of Steel, Government of India has committed at Kyoto Summit on climate to set a target of 100% utilization of solid waste as defined in National Steel Policy. So now our question is in which way they have committed. So definitely they have certain proof that yes, they will be capable for doing the same, because already India's steel industry has set target and gone beyond regulatory norm for waste utilization, as the industry has understood the huge hidden value in waste. So we should know what are the sustainability indicators for steel industry. So once we will be able to find out the sustainability indicators, then only we'll be able to adopt strategy for implementation. Okay. So here are certain indicators. Indicators are, if we think of conservation of natural resources that are getting used in case of steel making industry or coal, etc. If we think of reduction of greenhouse gas emission. Third indicator, volatile emission reduction. Fourth indicator, landfill waste reduction. And fifth indicator, hazardous waste indicator. So these are the various indicators, sustainability indicators, based on which we are, or steel industry is thinking of deriving wealth from waste. Now, one by one, we are going in which way they are thinking of that. Now, in a very nutshell, see, steel industry. That means the inevitable wastes are slag, dust, fines, slurries, various scales. So you know that all integrated iron and steel plants produce a wide range of byproducts, and iron are being continually optimized to reduce the amount of byproducts generated. And these byproducts are often termed as waste. So under waste, they have focused, slag, dust, fines, slurries, and various scales. Now, from these various kind of uh, waste, what kind of recoverable items may be generated? They can generate iron, they can derive energy, they can derive iron oxide fines, they can generate dust and sludge, they can prepare briquette, they can prepare coolant in POF, basic oxygen furnace. So in this way, or also iron-rich GCP sludge. So in this way, they can think of get recovered item from the waste that they are going to ignore for such a long decade. Now, for doing that, again theoretical concept, we are going to follow this concept: reduce, reuse, recycle, recovery, and finally landfill. So from most favored option to least favored option, we have to go ahead. Okay, so first, whenever we will be finding that yes, there is the opportunity or there is the scope of generating of waste at this particular location, first we have to think, now we have to reduce. We have to lower the amount of waste produced. Next concept is reuse. How to use that material repeatedly. Third, recycle. How to use that material to make any new product, to make any intermediary product. Fourth, recovery. How to recover energy from waste. And if all these four steps fail, then finally is the landfill. But that should be again the safe disposal of waste to landfill. Now, what are the reasons why we are going to think of so many strategies? Definitely there are some advantages, definitely there are some benefits. What are the reasons? One by one. First, it preserves natural resources by decreasing the demand for virgin materials. So there will not be over exploitation of natural resources. We are going to think of natural resource conservation. We will be going to conserve energy. We will be able to reduce the greenhouse gas emission, which will be causing the global warming. Definitely that is not expected by us. In this way, we are going to reduce the demand for product made from energy-intensive manufacturing processes. Thus, we will be able to save money by decreasing disposal cost. In case of thermal power plant, if they can easily transport those ash to the Portland Pozzolana cement manufacturing unit, automatically the disposal cost will be getting zero for the generator. And similarly, decreasing the material cost, the transportation cost of the raw material for the Portland Pozzolana cement manufacturing unit will be going to be zero. So in this way, we are thinking of adoption of special economic zone. Fourth benefit, we are going to minimize or eliminate the dust. And finally, we are going to improve the housekeeping. So our whole ambience from health point of the view, from safety point of the view, from environment point of the view is going to be neat and clean one, which will cause the betterment of our life. So already we have discussed that whatever we are talking about, the various waste that are coming out from the steel making industry. Now, it is clear that the waste that are getting generated from steel making industries are slag, dust, fines, slurries, various scales. Now, if we categorize those waste, it can be categorized in major 4 divisions. One is iron and steel slag. Second is scale. third is scrap metal, and fourth is dust and sludge. Now, once this classification is being made, then it will be clear that from this classification, how we will think of deriving wealth from waste. See, depending on the type of waste, because this classification based on type of waste is very much important, because it will be easier to adopt the future strategy for the same. Okay, here either we can think it as the source of energy or raw material for steel fabrication, or else it can be traded as co-product to other industrial application. So the reuse of this product is of great importance for the sector regarding both economic and environment point of view. Now, again, in which way we are thinking of utilizing the waste or recycling or recovering that waste? You know that iron oxide fins that are generated in various units. Which are what are those units? From blast furnace, they are getting generated, from LD converter, from mills. Now, coarser sizes of these fins can be used in sinter plant. Again, it is also can be used in pelletization. Though pelletization is not a cost incentive process due to its high temperature curing. So in this way, we have to think, because you know another thing, there is considerable total iron in the BOF sludge. This high iron content material has been going to drain and wasted all those years of operation. So whether we have to find out, is there any scope to reutilize or to recycle or to recover those iron? Yes, definitely there is scope. Just we will go to see. See, recycling of dust and sludge becomes possible only after technological problem related to giving them forms, allowing their use as feed material. So dust recycling is realized as outside recycling in cement plant or at the plant where dust is recirculated to the process. One by one, we will go to highlight in which way those dust and sludge, in which way we are going to find out some recovered item from those waste. There are numerous methodologies and techniques like collecting of fine dust, sludge and mill scale and agglomerate into micro pellets to use in the sintering plant or blast furnace as substitute to iron ore. We should not use high iron containing oxide for micropelletization and use as substitute for low value iron ore when that rich iron oxide can be recycled as high value coolant for BOF, basic oxygen furnace. So numerous attempts have been made in past in India and abroad to agglomerate those fine particles of iron bearing material by mixing them with a binder and forming into the word is briquette. Actually, what in which way we are going to prepare briquette? We are going to agglomerate SMS or BF. SMS means steel melting shop or blast furnace sludge. We add calcium hydroxide, we add mill scale, we add water soluble molasses, we add silicate of soda. In this way, we are going to prepare briquette. But one thing, this ideal metallurgical briquette for use in the iron and steel refining process should possess the property of resisting in falling or shattering or decomposition and thermal decomposition at disintegration at high temperature. So that's why we have to take special precaution at the time of recycling or recovering item. See, a briquette made from mix of SMS or BF sludge, calcium hydroxide, mill scale with a binder of water-soluble molasses and silicate of soda is capable of withstanding thermal disintegration, but it requires a drying period before it can be handled or stacked. The control of moisture content is of special importance. So not only the iron oxide raw material contains appreciable amount of moisture, but also the addition of more water to the briquette through the medium of the binding agent increases the ultimate moisture content of the finished product, which is to be charged or fed to the BOF. So this metallurgical, you have to take special precautionary measure for the purpose of metallurgical process for formation of briquette. See, this is the structure of the briquette. How we are going to transform the finely divided particles into larger size, which is that larger size is named as briquette. By the introduction of outside forces, we are going to form this briquette. This is the technological process, how to prepare this briquette. Briquetting is a process of compacting of fines into briquettes of a size similar to the premium product in almond shape. And in this form, the full volume of fins can be reclaimed. This can significantly improve, plant productivity and cut unit cost by making use of raw material. And this is the flow chart of how to prepare the briquette from those fine particles. First, BF dust. It will be combined with hydrated lime. Molasses are added. Some mixtures in the mixture, that mixing can be undertaken. Then it will be passing through the feed hopper, and finally, after formation of the briquette, it will be going to the steel making shop. So it is clear that a satisfactory and successful briquette for commercial use should possess sufficient compression and can withstand the rigorous handling to which it is subjected to conveyors, loading and charging devices. Steel industry has successfully prepared briquette of a mix of BOF sludge and only molasses, which had shown good result when charged to the BOF as coolant. So we are taking, this is the chemical formula in this way. If a mix of high iron oxide sludge, that is the total iron more than 60%, and it is dried to less than 8% moisture, and if mill scale quick lime fines and suitable binders are briquetted, and it is cured over 110 degrees centigrade over a desired period, it will be giving the good result to substitute this as coolant for BOF. Now see the advantage. What are the advantages of this briquetting? The process of briquetting technology is simple, but some difficulty is binding. That's why we are always warning about its metallurgical process. We have to take precautionary measure. Briquetting is an environmentally friendly method of agglomeration. There is two kind of benefits are getting generated: economic benefit and ecologic, that means environmental benefit. Economic benefit is it evited the loss of product under the dust shape. Uniformity of product is being obtained. Dust volume is going to be reduced. And we are thinking of recycling of a product at high value added. And what is the environmental solution? Environmental solution is, it is associated to producing and dispersion of dust. Problem solution, it solves the problem, and therefore it is causing the good atmosphere, and ground pollution is going to be reduced. Now see, here we will be finding that this particular technology is being adopted by which company? In Great Lakes Steelwork, briquettes were made from mill scale and TSP dust mixed in 1:4 ratio, and high to medium sloping was observed when used in BOF as coolant. An increase in the hot metal ratio by 3.38%, 100% steel scrap was replaced with a 13:5 ratio of scrap to briquette. So this is the advantage. Mr. Balaji P. Callaway, Junior Killman, and L. Lohman stated in steelmaking conference proceeding in 1995 that they have briquetted BOF waste oxide with 35% dewatered sludge and 20% curd, with 45% mill scale, and using molasses and lime as binder, and recycled the briquette to the BOF shops of the inland steel, and they have been successful. They found that 2.2 ton of waste oxide briquette replace 1.1 ton of scrap, increasing metallic yield and accommodating more hot metal. This is the competitive advantage that the company is going to gaining. The Matlock Steel, in collaboration with the Hot Set Resource Development, used iron-rich materials both as flux and iron source in the basic oxygen process, and IRM was found to be a good substitute for fluorspar, lime, and iron ore together with increased steel yield by 0.4% and decrease in dolomite, lime, and oxygen consumption by 5% and 1.5% respectively. Similarly, in Stelco work, dust and sludge generated in LD converter and blast furnace were briquetted along with carbon with Portland cement and lime as binder, and refining trial in LD converter showed better metallic yield without any sloping or any increasing iron oxide in slag. These are the benefits. The use of iron-rich GSP sludge will reduce the existing coolant addition in the BOF converter. One by one, you will be able to find out in which way this recovered item will be giving us benefit, will be giving us wealth, how we are going to derive wealth from waste. The reduced oxygen consumption is another benefit as the presence of oxide is high in the GCP sludge. Further, the converter sludge briquettes having high percentage of lime would reduce the lime consumption also. At the approximate estimate, about 200 to 300 ton per day of sludge, mill scale, self dust, and graphite dust can be converted into briquette with suitable strength and quality to replace present coolant material. The existing coolant material being substituted by proposed briquette have a market price. Just see the market price, 17,000 to 18,000 per ton. And automatically, the annual savings of existing coolant material works out 43,200 ton at an average production. And they have used 2 ton of briquette, 200 ton of briquettes. So briquettes will replace around 135 tons of coolant per day. Just multiply it by 320 days, you will be getting that 43,200 ton. They are going to be replaced by 200 ton of briquette. So if you focus it from the angle of financial benefit, annual cash savings will be 43.2 crore. So this is the benefit. This is the wealth from waste. 43.2 crores per annum cash can be accrued from waste. The waste that we are going to overlook. So in a nutshell, what are the benefits of the proposal of steelmaking industry? It fulfills towards zero solid waste discharge and comply to our Central Pollution Control Board directives, which are likely to be strictly enforced very soon. The inherent value of available iron in the sludge is going to be utilized, which is just being dumped outside. Cell BSP, Villi Steel Plant Cell, actually they are going to sell 43.2 crore amount only on the cost of replacing coolant material. Energy is going to be saved, that which was wasted for disposal of sludge in the form of slurry. Expenditure, which is required in maintaining the disposal mechanism like slurry pump, that is going to be saved. Pollution hazard related to handling, storage of sludge in ash pond is going to be eliminated. Dust is going to be minimized or eliminated, and housekeeping part is going to be improved due to the adoption of Swachh Bharat. Our natural resources are going to be preserved by decreasing the demand for virgin materials. Energy is going to be conserved and greenhouse gas emission is going to be reduced. by decreasing the demand for products made from energy-intensive manufacturing products. And finally, we are going to gain carbon credit for processed material recovery. So we are here to serve you briquette on the platter. Let me now, due to time constraint, let me now go to again theoretical part, that how to think of now what are actually the technology being adopted behind this particular savings. Let me discuss on that. There is a hierarchy from most preferred step to we will be going to the least preferred step. So first, the most preferred step in case of waste management, the first step is based on type, based on nature. We have to segregate the waste at source. Next is the method will coming of recycling. We have to process the non-biodegradable waste to recover the commercially valuable material. That is the plastic, paper, metal, glass. Next, we have to think of third step will be the composting, which includes the processing of organic waste to recover compost. It has some classification. In our next slide, we'll be showing that classification. There are windrows composting, there are in-vessel composting, there are vermicomposting. Everything we will be able to learn from this today's discussion. Fourth is waste to energy. That means how to recover energy before final disposal of waste. In which way we are going to think under this RDF, that is the refuse desired fuel. But what is biomethanation? What is incineration? These are the various methods to derive waste to energy. And finally, the safe disposal, that is the landfill, which is the least favored one. Now, one by one. Now the next is the reduce, reuse, and recycle. We are going to first focus on the reduce, reuse, and recycle. You see, you are finding that for a happier earth, we have to think of these 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. We have to reduce the waste generation. As you will consume less, generation of waste will be less. That means plastic consumption will be less, disposal of plastic will be less, plastic shopping bags will be going to be declined, the packaging material quantum will be going to be declined, and we will be able to return the packaging product to the manufacturer. Now under reuse, we are going to find safe usage for leftover foods, vegetables, fruits, etc. We will be able to reuse the disposable safely at personal level. We'll be able to reuse the packaging and wrapping material. We are going to reuse items as much as possible. And third is the recycle. Already we have learned how to return the waste materials back into the consumption cycle. How to think of circular economy for resource recovery. But one thing, segregation is the key for recycling and for realizing waste to wealth. Then now what is the need for a ready reckoner for the processing technologies? Now we will go to the technological part, in which way we are going to derive waste from wealth. First, source segregations need to be encouraged. Efficiency has to be brought to collection of waste, And finally, scientific processing of waste mandated along with final disclosure. We will now go to see what is the yes. Any confusion? No, I think so. Now let me discuss what are the government initiatives for promoting waste to wealth. First, we should know that in which way government is taking care of that. Under the Swachh Bharat mission, ministry has taken several initiatives along with the sister ministries and departments to promote waste to wealth and for enabling the implementation of solid waste management and handling technique. And few initiatives have already been undertaken by central government. First is waste to compost. The Union Cabinet has approved for a policy on promotion of city compost. And you know that market development assistance would lower the part if we are going to think of this promotion of city compost, then automatically it will lower the purchase cost of the city compost by farmers. And compost from city garbage would not only provide carbon and primary or secondary nutrient to soil, but will also help in keeping the city clean. So these are the advantage behind this policy. Next policy, waste to energy. The Union Cabinet has approved the proposal of Ministry of Power for amendment in the tariff policy. For the first time, a holistic view of the power sector has been taken and comprehensive amendment has been made. Third policy they have taken on construction and demolition waste, C&D waste, to minimize the quantity of inert reaching to landfill and to promote the reuse and recycle of the construction. The Bureau of Indian Standard has amended the specification for coarse and fine aggregate for concrete. And fourth one is the plastic waste disposal technique. A government order in November 2015 has made it mandatory for all road developers in the country to use. You know that road developers will now have to use waste plastic along with hot mixes for constructing the bitumen roads within 50 kilometers of periphery of any city that has a population of over 5 lakh. And another, in recently released guideline for developers, government has made it mandatory that in case of non-availability of waste public, then developer has to seek the Road Transport and Highways Ministry's approval for constructing only bitumen road. Now, what is the advantage of this plastic tar road? The strength of the road will be getting increased. There is better resistance to water and water stagnation. There is no stripping, no potholes. The binding nature will be getting increased, even better bonding of the mix. Load withstanding property will be getting increased. Overall consumption of the bitumen will be getting reduced. The ports in the aggregate will be getting reduced, and there is less rush, less rutting and traveling. The soundness of the property will be getting better. Maintenance cost is almost nil. Road life period is substantially increased, no leaching of plastic, and no effect of radiation like UV. So the technological options in a nutshell is 3 kinds: biological, thermal, and processing for reuse. One by one. If you see this flow chart, it will be clear to all of you. Now again, I have already told you that at the beginning, in case of waste management practice, before thinking of any treatment, before thinking of any kind of the recycling technique, first we have to do segregation based on nature. Here also, before thinking of the treatment technology, we have segregated the municipal solid waste into major 4 groups: biodegradable, combustible, construction and demolition waste, and inert. For biodegradable, which kind of the technology of wealth from waste technology will be fruitful? Composting and biomethanation. In case of combustible product, gasification and incineration. In case of construction and demolition waste, that is nothing but the alternate building material. And for inert, landfill. Now composting will be giving us the biofertilizer, the biomethanation through anaerobic digestion will give us biogas. Now gasification of combustible product under thermal process will be giving us power. Incineration under thermal process of combustible product will give us steam turbine. And pyrolysis also under thermal process of combustible product will be giving us steam turbine. So in this way, and from construction and demolition waste, we will be able to prepare our plastic road. Now, one by one, each and every technology we will go to discuss. First, under biological or biochemical processing technology. Under this, the first classification was composting and biomethanation. Now, when composting will be applicable and when biomethanation will be applicable? See, composting, first of all, biochemical conversion of biodegradable municipal solid waste can be categorized into two divisions, composting and biomethanation. Now, composting is an aerobic process in which the biodegradable waste are converted through biochemical transformation to yield the city compost, which will be used as soil conditioner and nutrient provider. Whereas biomethanation is an anaerobic slurry phase process that can be used to recover nutrient and energy content in biodegradable waste, and biogas can be used either as a source of thermal energy or to generate electricity. Now let us see under first composting. You know that composting involves the aerobic conversion. So breakdown of organic waste by microorganism in the presence of air, heat and moisture, and it can be done by various bacteria, fungi, actinomycetes, and act upon waste to convert it into sugar, starch and organic acid, and resulting in the city compost. What are the benefit? You know from city compost, economic benefit, it improves soil condition, water retention capacity of the soil will be getting enhanced, biological activity will be getting increased, and pest resistance of crops will be getting improved. Composting minimizes or avoids the greenhouse gas emission from waste. It is also useful as organic manure, and it contains the macronutrients. That means NPP, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, as well as micronutrients. It reduces the dependency on chemical fertilizer. This compost can also be used to revitalize impoverished soil and wasteland. Okay, now see, there are different methods under composting. This is windrow composting. It is the production of windrow. Windrow means long rows. Windrow composting, production of compost by piling of biodegradable waste. This method is suited to produce larger volume of compost, and rows are regularly turned over to improve the porosity and oxygen content, mix in and remove moisture, redistribute cooler and hotter portions of the piles. In this way, we are going to produce the compost. And for the purpose of windrow composting, usually organic waste are being used for that purpose, and minimum 100 ton to 1000 tons per day are going to be utilized waste. Total area requirement requires 12,500 to 1,85,000 square meter. Capital investment 650 lakhs to 5,500 lakhs. And how much compost is getting generated? 15 ton per day to 175 ton per day compost is getting generated through this particular process. This is of windrow composting. Where we have implemented this, if you find that in case of Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation along with Excel Industries Limited, they have implemented this windrow composting method where processing capacity is 500 ton per day, and per day compost is going to be produced 55 ton. If you want to know the detail of this, this is through PPP model, public-private partnership model. Ahmedabad, the capital of Gujarat, they have covered this particular area. Just see in which way Excel Industries has signed 30-year agreement with Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation in 1997 for 500 ton per day municipal solid waste processing for converting it into compost. And it is one of the highest producers of good quality of city compost in India. Now, next topic. Next type of composting is vermicomposting. Here we are taking help of various earthworm. You see, vermin compost is the product of composting process using various species of worms, usually red wigglers, white worms, other earthworms, which feed in mixture of decomposing vegetable or food waste and release droppings called vermicast. It is the end product of the breakdown of the organic matter by an earthworm. Here, in this case, also organic waste is getting involved, and capital investment ranges between 25,000 to 2.5 lakhs. And how much compost is getting generated? 0.04 ton per day to 0.8 ton per day. And production cost is per ton of compost 5,000 INR. Now, this is the application of vermicomposting. We have found that Ruhat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike, along with MSGP Infratech Private Limited, they have prepared this vermicomposting unit. The processing capacity is 20 ton per day. And it is found that if you see that 1 lakh worms are required for each of the vermi bed, 30 kg of worms. And this is also through PPP model, and it is found that the waste is placed in vermi pits made from the granite stone slabs or bricks and the cement, and worms of the species Eisenia foetida will be released on the top of the waste. And after 30 to 40 days, the vermicompost is harvested manually, and harvested compost is stored for about 2 weeks to allow cocoons to hatch. So in this way, they are thinking of adopting vermicomposting. Another one is pile composting, aerated static pile composting, ASP. It refers to the system, just see the picture. It is used to biodegrade organic material without physical manipulation during composting. The blended waste is usually placed on perforated, you are finding some pipe-like structure. So that is the perforated piping. The blended waste is usually placed on those perforated piping, providing air circulation for controlled aeration. It may be in windrows, open or covered, or in closed containers. And with regard to the complexity and cost, aerated systems are most commonly used by larger and professionally managed compost facilities. So these are the methods by which again composting is being done. It is also referred as composting. Here, how much in case of pure organic waste, this particular method can be used, and per day 0.1 ton to 10 tons waste can be utilized through this way, and approximate capital investment 2.5 lakhs to 11 lakhs. And how much compost is getting generated per day? 0.04 ton to 3.50 ton. Another method of composting is pit composting. Pit is nothing but trench, where you will be getting enough area. It is the process of burying organic waste directly into the soil. Trenching is an excellent method to use in combination with growing annual plant, especially plants like cabbage, corn, etc. It also encourages the development of deep water conserving root system. But this is a slower composting process than that occurs in a well-managed windrow. So this is another method, pit composting. Here, how much organic waste is getting to be processed? 0.1 ton to 2 tons. And capital investment 0.25 lakhs to 3 lakhs. And how much compost is going to be generated per day? 0.04 ton to 0.8 ton. This is the same method, but previous one was a natural method, but this is the mechanized organic waste composter we are going to use. This mechanized organic waste composter are designed to make composting easy and convenient. Mechanized organic waste composter, fully automatic and having very compact and aesthetic design. Now here also the 100 kg to 5 ton waste can be processed through this particular method, and per day 30 kg to 1.5 ton compost can be produced. And in this way 30% waste volume can be reduced. And this method is already started in Thrissur Municipal Corporation of Kerala along with SL Industries Limited, where 4 tons of waste per day is being composted, and total compost is going to be produced 1 ton per day. So it is owned by Thrissur, again PPP model, Thrissur Municipal Corporation. The organic waste converter plant is located in the heart of Thrissur, right behind the bus station. And cost of plant is for 4 ton plant 40 lakhs. Now, we have found this heritage school where it is nothing but a hybrid composting based on segregation model. The school has set up a hybrid rapid composting technology system which convert biodegradable waste into organic manure in 2016. Now, this process involved 3 steps: crushing, dewatering, and shredding. The machine capacity for horticulture as well as food waste is 300 kg per day. And it produces 20 to 30 kg manure per day, which is used for gardening purpose. Now, next is after composting, next is biomethanation. Biomethanation is an anaerobic process. That means absence of free oxygen, fermentation of biodegradable matter in an enclosed space under controlled condition of temperature, moisture, and pH. Here, the waste mass undergoes decomposition due to the microbial activity, generating biogas comprising mainly of methane, carbon dioxide, and sludge. And benefit, the produced biogas can be used for cooking purpose, for the production of electricity, for light. This biomethanation of biodegradable organic material would result in stabilized sludge, which can be used as a soil conditioner and fertilizer. And this is very ideal for waste with high moisture content. The important points: 0.5 tons to 300 tons waste can be processed through this method. The capital investment is 15 lakhs to 9,000 lakhs. And how much compost is getting generated? 0.2 megawatt to 3 megawatt actually biogas is going to be produced, and 40% waste volume is going to be reduced. This biomethanation plant we are finding in Govandi, Mumbai, Shatabdi Hospital site, where it is where 2 ton per day waste is being processed. This is the project site. And here we are finding that first is the question is how many days or weeks are required for obtaining the stable purity of methane. Answer is approximately 1 week is required for obtaining the stable purity of methane. And capacity of the plant is 5 tons, and gas are produced average 150 cubic meter per ton of input, but depend on the type of waste. And how much electricity is produced per day? 108 kilowatt hour in 12-hour electricity is going to be produced. And how much waste to be utilized for every day? 2 tons of waste. Cost of the plant 25 lakhs of 5 tons, and of 2 tons 12.5 lakhs. Now, what kind of the waste are getting processed here? All type of biodegradable kitchen wet waste. That means cooked and pre-cooked waste, and raw vegetables and fruit waste have been utilized here. Now, this biomethanation plant also is found in case of Coimbatore Wholesale Market in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. It is a unique national level demonstration project in order to utilize organic waste generated from the perishables market for power generation. You will be finding that 30 metric tons of perishable waste per day is being handled through this method, and it will generate average 2,375 cubic meter gas through biogas induced mixing arrangement method, and from which 5,000 units of electricity per day is getting generated. Now, next method is thermal processing. Under the thermal processing, first one is incineration and second one is gasification. First, incineration. You know, incineration is a waste treatment process that involves the combustion of the waste at very high temperature in the presence of oxygen and results in the production of ash, flue gas, and heat. It shows the important points. The actually time is running out, so in a very nutshell, we are going to highlight the important points that through this incineration, how much is going to use 3.06 megawatt to 20.41 megawatt. This is the application of that incineration method in case of North Delhi Municipal Corporation, where 2,000 metric ton waste is getting processed and 24 megawatt power is getting generated. Next item of thermal processing is gasification. Here also we are going to produce power. Gasification is the partial combustion of organic or fossil-based carbonaceous material, and you find that through this gasification process, 8.33 megawatt to 16.67 megawatt power is going to be generated, and it is found in case of Pune Municipal Corporation. We are finding that 700 tons of municipal waste is getting processed per day, and from where we are going to produce 0.78 megawatt to 1 megawatt of power per day by processing around 250 metric ton of waste per day. Another technology is refuse derived fuel, RDF. RDF, it is typically consists of the residual dry combustible fraction of the municipal solid waste, including paper, textile, rag. This suitability depends upon certain parameter, calorific value, water content, ash content, etc. Through this method, how much energy is going to be derived? 0.25 metric ton per day to 75 metric ton per day. Now, application of this refuse derived fuel is found in Jabalpur Municipal Corporation. Here is the project detail. Next is under C&D waste, that is the plastic waste management, plastic and C&D. Now, under plastic waste management, here we are finding that approximately 14,000 ton per day plastic waste is generated, and that is approximate 9% of about 1.5 lakh ton per day municipal waste in the country. And there are two major categories, thermoplastic and thermoset plastic. Thermoplastic constitute 80% and thermoset constitute 20% of the total post-consumer plastic. This plastic composting is applicable in case of already has been started this operation in Shimla, Himachal Pradesh, where we are finding that the plastic waste replaces 10 to 15% of the bitumen and thus saves 35,000 to 45,000 per kilometer of the road stretch. This is another output of 1 kg of plastic. You will be finding how to convert the waste plastic into liquid hydrocarbon of energy. These are the methods by which the waste plastic has been converted into useful hydrocarbon. And this is the construction and demolition waste, how we are going to process this kind of the waste once we are going to forget this kind of the waste. But now it is found that in case of North Delhi Municipal Corporation, the C&D waste 500 tons per day is going to be utilized. And finally, when all the earlier methods will be getting used, then the final is the safe treatment, safe disposal at landfill. But here also there is scope of collection of gas. So there is a particular gas collection and control facility, which is optional for small sanitary landfill, which collect and extract gas from within and from the top of the sanitary landfill and treat it for energy recovery. Again, I should mention that based on population, based on the quantity of waste, the treatment option will be getting varied. And this is the chart where you will be getting that treatment technology wise, how much cost will be involved, and what are the products, or what are the, in which way we are deriving wealth from waste. This is one particular case that is found in case of India's coast, Benguria. It is a small municipality from India's tourist hub of Goa, where it is found that 3,000 households separate waste in up to 4 different colored bins. And one thing, that wet waste is used to generate biogas, which produce 30 unit electricity per ton. One of the machine powered by the biogas is a plastic shedding machine. It crushes up to 180 kg of light plastic every day. Used with bitumen, shredded plastic is effective in helping build sturdier roads that are able to withstand more wear and tear. Beniguria has 12 kilometers of plastic road and earns rupees 15 per kg of plastic sold to the contractor for road building. So, machine helps process dry waste such as cloth, paper, etc., which are sold to the nearby industry. Heavy plastic is sold to the cement factory. So each month municipality earns 1,50,000 amount, which is used to improve the solid waste management system. So this is the way in which we have to think of the future. Thank you.
So thank you very much. So if you have any query, just you can ask from your side. Dear participant. Anyone from your side?
Sir, may I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Very good afternoon, ma'am. It was a really nice session and really informative session. Ma'am, I would like to ask you that in our campus, I am Professor Mangesh Borkar from GHR College of Engineering, Nagpur. In our campus this year, I have carried out one project with the I have given project to my students, in which we have made even composting unit. So in that composting unit, we are the raw material is the dry leaves, then the food waste that we are providing in that. So according to you, actually I need suggestion that which kind of various cultures we can use, which will give me the best result for this.
I think that from economic part of point of view, the windrow composting, the first one, the windrow composting will be beneficial.
Okay.
But if you have to find out measure the soil characteristic, if the vermin availability is sufficient, then you can also think of vermicomposting approach.
Okay.
But for that purpose, you have to analyze the soil characteristics.
Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, it is not possible for me to have windrow composting or vermicomposting because it is a rotating cylinder with the horizontal rod with it, and in that only we are providing the food waste as well as the brown waste. So initially I started with the cow dung as a culture. So next step is buttermilk I'm going to use. So in can you suggest more than that, other than that?
See, one thing I have shown you the last slide, where you will finding that population wise, waste quantum wise, which particular, just you go through that particular slide, you will be able to find it out. Okay, understood that particular slide?
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, is there any query? Any question from your side? So we are waiting. Okay, so I am happy to inform you, madam, because we already received in our chat box so many already written nice presentation. So more or less 5 or 10 our professor participant, they already explained their view. This is a very nice presentation, and as well as like say a nice presentation. Thank you, ma'am. Very informative session. Then lot of information like this. Okay, so now we have to close our session. We already crossed our time. So on behalf of NITTR Kolkata, on behalf of our participant professor, as well as on my personal behalf, thank you so much for your nice presentation. And that presentation is very much important for us. That is wealth from waste and different way. So once again, thank you so much, madam, and thank you so
Professor
much for
Mondal.
our participant. So next thing is this, obviously we shall meet with you either in the form of our Zoom meeting, or you have to check your registered email. With this, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you for inviting me.
Namaskar. Namaskar.